Okay, guys, so I'm so excited about this book, Becoming Muhammad Ali. This has been super highly recommended. All my kids are wanting to read it, so here we go. This book is a little bit different because it's not like a chapter book in the sense of it does have main titles, but then it has a little bit of verbiage, and then some of it is poems, and so it's going to be a little bit hard to follow, but we're going to get through it. Okay, here we go. Becoming Muhammad Ali. Round 1. I remember everything. You probably would have too. That night was a piece of American history. The Clay family phone was dusky black with a rotary dial, and it sat on a wooden table in the neat as a pen living room of the little house on Grand Avenue in Louisville, Kentucky. Some 20 of us were crammed like sardines into a room, waiting for that phone to ring. Waiting for Cassius to call home. It was February 1958, and I remember it like it was yesterday. My best friend Cassius was 300 miles north in Chicago, and that night was fighting for a championship in the Golden Gloves boxing tournament. Cassius wasn't a professional yet, just an amateur, tall, but a little skinny and a lot raw. Only 16 years old like me. I'm Lucius, but by the way, nice to meet you. You can call me Lucky. All my friends do. Cassius had already won plenty of bouts all over Kentucky, but the Chicago Golden Gloves was the big time. When he won there, and we all knew that he would, it would be lights out. From now on, people everywhere would know the name Cassius Clay. And so we waited for the phone to ring. I remember that living room was so packed with families and friends and neighbors that we could hardly move. The smell of roast chicken and sweet potato pie and cheese grits mixed with the smell of paint and turpentine. Mr. Clay, Cassius' dad, who everybody called Cash, was a sign and billboard painter, and he kept his work supplies right there in the house. Mrs. Clay, somebody called out, when that boy of yours gets famous, we ought to buy you a bigger house. Oh, you know we will, she answered. Then she looked right at me. Isn't that right, Lucius? Yes, ma'am, you know it is. Cassius promised you a big house. I remember that Miss Clay was too nervous to eat, but he wasn't too nervous to talk about how proud that she was. I wanted to show you guys. These illustrations are amazing. My Cassius did everything early, she was saying in a group of ladies. He crawled early, talked early, walked on his toes like a dancer. And the ladies all laughed as if they hadn't heard that story 100 times before. But Mrs. Clay just couldn't help it. Cassius always told her that he was bound to be the greatest, with a capital G. And she believed it with all of her heart. So did I. So did everybody in Louisville's West End. Come on, phone. Ring, phone. Ring-a-ding-ding. The men and boys around the room, including Cassius' little brother, Rudy, looked at one another with big grins and made punching motions with their fists. The big fight should be over by now. Under those bright lights in the middle of that huge Chicago stadium, Cassius would be standing tall in the ring with one hand over his head like always, his opponent next to him with head bowed down in defeat. Then the phone rang. It was Cassius who knew the fight, and he told it like only Cassius could tell a story. Before the fight, a reporter asked me if he thought if I was as good as Joe Louis or Sugar Ray was at my age. And I told him, I don't think I'm good. I'm better. Got more flow than Joe, got more slay than Ray. I'm sweeter, stronger, and faster. As a matter of fact, I'm so fast, I can't even catch myself. Cassius Clay versus Alex Watt, February 24th, 1958. Here's how it all went down. The bell rang in Chicago Stadium, and I could barely see the lightweight rush me through the rank cigar smoke that filled that arena. In the first round, he threw punches like pitches, fast and straight, striking air and striking out. So I played peekaboo. In the second, sending quick jabs in his head. You ain't ready for Cassius, I whispered. Then I shook him up with the left and took him down hard in the third. He sure wasn't ready, but neither was I, and when I found out who I was fighting next, Cassius Clay versus Francis Turley. February 25th, 1958. Frank Turley was a cowboy from Montana, meaner looking than an angry ox, with fists even meaner. They said he broke a guy's nose with a left jab and then smiled when the joker went tumbling out of the ring, blood spurting every which way. "I'ma lick you good, boss," he said, winking at me. Before the bell rang, and I believed that he believed he would. Knockout. We traded punches like baseball cards. Him a wild Mustang, me a Louisville slugger. Back and forth, left and right, rough and rugged, till he cornered me with 2 lucky shots to the jaw, and felt like kicks from a mule. And he sent me tumbling to the mat, wondering if I should just stay there. Long count. 1. While I lay there, the referee standing over me counted to 10 to see if I could get up. I wish my father was sitting ringside shouting my name. 2. I thought about home, about 3302 Grand Avenue, and playing football in the backyard with Rudy. And 3, the Montgomery kids next door who was going to babysit them now that I was a boxer. 4, and whether Lucky bought the new Superman like he promised. 5, I thought about my granddaddy Herman's story about Tom the Slave. 6, I thought about how boxing was going to set us all free. And 7, what I'd ask Mama Bird to cook for my celebration dinner after I got up. And 8, whooped this cowboy from Montana and advanced to the semifinals in the 1958 Golden Globes Championship. Celebration dinner menu. 2 orders of veal, 3 slices of white bread, a bowl of cornbread dressing, 1 large green salad, a bowl of chili, scrambled eggs, cheese grits, baked potato with a baked chicken with a baked potato, 2 pieces of pecan pie, 5 scoops of strawberry ice cream, and a great big old glass of OJ. There's the picture. I jumped up on 9. The Frank kept swinging like a lumberjack, trying to knock down a tree. But I kept standing, kept sticking, kept moving like a mighty wind till the final bell rang and the judges unanimously called out my name for the win. Cassius Clay and Kent Green. February 26, 1958, Golden Globes semifinals. I was a little weary from hanging out the night before, but that didn't shake my confidence when I stepped into the ring, gliding like a bomber jet and launching punches like missiles. Thing was, Kent Green was a tank, and he just brushed off my attack like you would a pesky fly at a picnic. The evening newspaper read, the 16-year-old pugilist from Louisville, with his quick feet and a loud mouth, showed promise with his first 2 fights, got outboxed by the older, more seasoned, hard-punching Kent Green. On the phone with Lucky. I might have lost, but I'm still a boss. I lost my stride, but not my pride. I'm still here, and yeah, I'm coming home. But this dream I got is set in stone. To be the best in the atmosphere, or be the best in the hemisphere, to watch the Golden Gloves next year. How do I know? Because Cassius is courageous, tenacious, and one day he'll be the greatest. You hear that, Lucky? I'm coming home. And that's round 1.